Hello everybody, it's Glitter Informer. If you haven't watched my last video about what the most hype anime of 2023 is, then sorry to spoil it for you, but it's Hirogaru Sky Pretty Cure. So naturally, I watched it the day it came out. And why stop there? Why not be like some other YouTubers out there and review every single episode of the show as it airs each week? Now, this is going to be a huge undertaking. As you can see, I don't upload to this channel very often. I have very little experience with editing YouTube videos, so to be honest, I'm probably going to give up on this venture pretty quickly. But I can at least give it the good old college try. Before we get started, I wanted to let you know in advance that I don't plan on showing any footage from the anime itself. This is partially to save myself time for editing, but also because the company that makes Pretty Cure, Toei, is really possessive of their IP. There have been cases where even people who are using their footage for fair use, for instance, to make reviews, like this one, Toei still copyright strikes their videos, even though that sort of usage is legally permitted in the United States, which is where I live. So I'm just going to play it safe and pray that it's enough. Alright, review, start. I'm just gonna get this out of the way, okay? Please watch this episode. I came in hyped, and I came out with everything I could have asked for in a first episode of a Pretty Cure season. It was just so good. The only legal way to watch this show is on Crunchyroll, where it's listed as Soaring Sky Pretty Cure. But if you don't like that Crunchyroll refuses to pay their translators a living wage, or that they fire beloved voice actors for just asking to talk about joining a union, well, there are other ways, and I'm just going to leave it at that. If you really want to support the creators of this amazing anime, buy merch, CDs, or DVDs. I have my fair share of those, so I am supporting the creators, okay? I'm a good girl. But enough about Crunchyroll's shady business practices. Let's say that you're really busy and you don't have time to watch the episode. Or maybe you do have time, but you're still on the fence and you want to hear from me more details about the show before you give it a go. Or maybe you already did watch the episode, but since I'm uploading this video so long after it aired, you already forgot what happened. Well, fear not. I have a summary to give you. So, there's this place called Skyland. It's a bunch of floating islands in the sky where humans live alongside talking animals, some of whom are giant birds and stuff. There's also a monarchy. Everyone's gathered to celebrate Princess Elle's birthday. Keep in mind that the princess is a baby. Got it? Cool. But then, an anthropomorphic pig named Kabaton comes out of nowhere and kidnaps the baby. The pig uses his physical prowess and variety of magical powers to defeat the entire Skyland army and is almost able to leave the kingdom with the baby. But then, who comes in but our main hero, Sora Harewataru, not to be confused with any other Soras you might know. Sora's main dream is to be a hero. It's what she's always wanted to do ever since she was little. So, now's the time for her to finally realize her dream. She does this really awesome parkour off of a bunch of buildings like the ceilings, and then she just stands there menacingly in front of Kabaton. Kabaton goes at her, but she uses her epic martial arts skills to swipe the baby princess away from him and back to safety. She's about to return back to the castle with Princess Elle, but then, and I am not joking, I'm not making this up, quick disclaimer here, the pig guy says, and I quote, "Welcome to heaven," and he rips a gigantic fart in Sora's face. I cannot make this anime up. Sora covers her face to block out the horrific stench, which allows Kabaton to take Elle back and go through a portal with her. Sora goes through the portal after him, and fortunately there's like an entire asteroid thicket in there. He bangs his head on one of the asteroids, allowing Sora to play hot potato with the baby one last time. Then Sora goes through the other end of the portal and finds herself high up in the sky, where she instantly falls to her death. The end. Nah, just kidding. Turns out Princess Elle has magical powers, which is kind of why Kabaton was after her in the first place. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. She's able to slow their fall just in time, and Sora has a gentle landing, right next to this completely normal random girl named Mashiro Nijigaoka. Turns out the portal took Sora to our world, Japan in particular, and she's absolutely freaking out because what the hell are cars and what in Christ's name is an advertisement? Meanwhile, Mashiro is freaking out because this girl fell out of the sky and landed right in front of her. Naturally, they both assume that they're dreaming, and now that they're both able to cope with what's happening to them, they introduce each other and they get along pretty well. Oh yeah, turns out Sora has this really important notebook that she keeps in her shirt pocket. Unfortunately, it fell out while she was traveling through the portal. Fortunately, it fell out of the sky earlier too, and Mashiro found it, so she returns it to Sora. Yay! But then, turns out Kabaton came through the portal too, and among his repertoire of magical abilities is surviving really big falls. This time, he's not going to let the baby get away. He turns a land excavator that's conveniently just sitting there into a giant monster called a Ronborg. Now, Sora isn't a perfect goody-goody. She's been hesitant before, like for instance when she jumped through that portal to who knows where. But now, she's never seen anything like this before. She's shaking. She's terrified. But if she wants to be a hero, she has no choice. Sora tells Mashiro to look after the baby and goes to do whatever she can to hold off the monster. But there's only so much even somebody as skilled as martial arts and parkour as Sora can do against a gigantic monster. Naturally, Sora gets the stuffing kicked out of her, and Kabaton and the Ronborg quickly move on to Mashiro and Elle. But wait, Sora's not down for the count just yet. She's peeled herself back up from the ground, and she's limping on over to Kabaton. And she trips and falls back on her face again, causing the notebook to fall right back out of her shirt. Honestly, she should put a zipper on that pocket. It keeps falling out. Jeez. Turns out that notebook contains a bunch of very important drawings that Sora drew when she was little, containing all of her hopes and dreams of being a hero. Dreams of defending the young and the weak. Dreams of not backing down no matter how strong the enemy is. This notebook, obviously, is very sentimental to Sora. And what does this pig man do? He rips it apart right in front of her and throws the scraps in Sora's face. But Sora, the absolute Chad that she is, refuses to give up. She lifts her head up, smiles at Elle, and assures her that she will get her home. And she stands back up. Even the baby just gasps in amazement. A power awakens within the princess, and this laser comes out of the baby and towards Sora. Now, Sora has this little disc thing, and her pen that she used to use to write in her notebook has become this big stick with an orb at the top. She sticks the disc thing into the stick thing, and she transforms into pure Sky. No longer is Sky battered and worn out. She's now faster and stronger than she ever was before. With the power of a pretty cure flowing through her veins, for the first time, she's able to fight the monster and actually win. In a really awesomely animated fight scene, Sky beats the absolute daylights out of the Ronborg, finishing it off with a powerful finisher attack called Sky Punch. For the first time, she has the upper hand over Kabaton. He has no choice but to teleport away. So, Sora Haruwataru has saved the day. She's protected the city and kept the princess from being kidnapped. But they're now trapped on Earth, with no way to get back home. And there's no telling when Kabaton or one of his evil friends is going to come back. Sora has got a lot more heroing to do. So, that's your long-winded summary. I hope you weren't too bored. Now, it's opinion time. First of all, Sora is shaping up to be my favorite Pretty Cure lead ever, and it's only been a single episode. She's just so awesome. I mean, she isn't perfect, which makes her even more awesome, honestly, because she has to fight against her own fear, but with a mixture of her Pretty Cure powers and her martial arts abilities that allow her to fight even as a civilian, she proves to be a formidable warrior. I look forward to seeing her continue to be just freaking epic. Second of all, may I just say that Kabaton is the most underrated Pretty Cure villain of all time? From even before this episode aired, I saw a bunch of people on the Pretty Cure Wiki dreading how bland the villains in this show are going to be, because instead of a pretty anime boy or something, this season starter villain was going to be a big, fat pig. Even now, I see a lot of people saying that they really like this episode, except for the villain. I just don't get it. Kabaton is great. He's super entertaining. He has a really cocky personality that is fun to watch, and I mean, who can blame him? In addition to being funny, need I remind you that he farted in Sora's face? He's also a legitimate threat due to his physical and magical prowess. He's literally a one-pig army. Sora was able to put up a good fight against him, but he was still completely toe-to-toe with her until she transformed into Cure Sky. I really look forward to seeing him more, especially if he gets even more powerful and the show can keep him threatening even with a full team of Pretty Cures. Third, let's talk about Sora's transformation. In order to talk about it, I am going to have to show it off because otherwise I would have to draw the parts I want to demonstrate and that would take way too long. So I'm going to put in some screenshots. Not moving footage, just screenshots. Don't come after me, Toei. Please don't go chomping at the bit, okay? And just to keep myself safe, I'm going to put a border around the screenshots and I'm going to reverse them. I'll do whatever I can. I just have to really pray that Toei isn't going to get angry, okay? Okay. Honestly, Sora's transformation is good, but I'm not sure if I'm as in love with it as most other people in the fandom. There's a couple of elements of it that I like for instance, that stick thing with the orb in it, the little transformation device thingy. It's got a tiny stick in the orb, with a bunch of lights on it. And the stick spins around and the lights create cool patterns. It's really cool. That's a really good idea for a transformation item, honestly. I also like the part after when Sky transformed and there was a split screen with a bunch of close-ups of the different parts of Sora's outfit, which really, lets you appreciate the different parts of her outfit, which is cool because the outfit's really well designed and you should appreciate that. I also really like how Sky's name just appeared behind her after she transformed. That's just super stylish. Also, there's this brief part where she creates wings out of her arms for a little bit. I just thought that was cool. But, there's some things I want to nitpick. First of all, when Sora uses the stick thing to transform, it lights up green, not blue. I mean, it turns rainbow colors later, but, why does it start green, not blue, she's a blue cure. It doesn't make sense. Second of all, when she transforms, she's standing on a circular platform. The transformation goes by so quickly that I didn't really get a good look at it, and I thought it was just a vinyl disc, and I was just so confused because last I checked, Sweet Pretty Cure was the music season, not Hirogaru Sky. But when I look at the screenshots, I can see the platform long enough to see that it's actually showing the patterns that are being displayed on Sora's stick thingy, so you get a closer look at them. It's showing the text hop, step, and jump, which is pretty cool because that's what Sora says during the transformation. I just wish there was more time to see it, Third of all, there's this part where Sora jumps onto the platform and she lands with her legs at a weird angle. They're bent to her left at a 90-degree angle to her body. Her entire body should be broken. It just looks so painful. There's other things good to talk about, though, besides the transformation. Other than that, the transformation thing is pretty much the only thing I had complaints about. The animation in this episode was really nice. I'm not sure if it's going to last the whole season, though, because generally, the animation quality in Pretty Cure spikes in the first episode of a season to lure in and impress new viewers, and then declines to baseline after that. However, the next episode preview also had really nice animation, so maybe, since this is the 20th anniversary season, they're going to pull out all the stops with the budget this year. Oh, and the music was good, too. The ending theme was nice, but the real star of the show was the opening theme. It blew me away from the first time I listened to it. To put this into context, it usually takes a couple listens for an opening theme to really grow on me. This might just be one of the greatest Pretty Cure opening themes ever, second to only to that of the first season, Futari wa Pretty Cure, which, high praise. That's one of the most iconic opening themes of all time. So, that's basically all I had to say. I hope you really enjoyed watching my very first anime review on this channel, and I hope that at least one of you watching has been persuaded to join the Pretty Cure fandom. We need more people! We're so lonely, there's so few Pretty Cure fans in the world. Okay, alright, see you next week. Goodbye!